Okay, I'd like to do a brief look at the syllabus. I expect you have probably read through it by now. I am, as you know, this guy, John Ostland, and I'm available pretty much all the time, certainly between 10 a.m. and 9 p.m., 7 days a week, frequently later than 9 p.m., much less frequently earlier than 10 a.m. Due to the COVID-19 Delta variant, Carnegie Mellon has given me permission to hide in my basement and deliver my lectures by video this mini. Hopefully that will all become resolved soon and I'll be able to return to real life. I'll be holding office hours by Zoom every Friday evening for 2 hours and every Saturday morning for 2 hours. For this course, I have 5 TAs split between Pittsburgh and New York. These folks all did very nicely in my financial computing courses last year. They're all second-year MSCF students. Several of them will probably hold office hours by Zoom. That's up to them to determine. And their primary jobs will be to help me with grading homework assignments, possibly help me with grading quizzes, although the quizzes are sort of self-grading nowadays. And also, they're going to be available to answer your questions. So if you want to send one of them an email about a question, please feel free to do that. Okay, now as far as the final exam is going to be a very challenging hands-on programming exam, not the kind of multiple choice thing that we did at the end of programming prep. I usually take something like 4 days to grade these hands-on programming exams, and I didn't have time to do that at the end of programming prep. So you can expect this to be pretty hard work, and it will be almost 3 hours long, and it will take place on Thursday, October 14th, in class between 1:30 and 4:30 p.m. All right. So the software I expect you already have from programming prep, and we also have documentation available. A couple of really excellent books that you can take a look at are this book called Python for Finance, second edition, by Eve Hilpish. I probably butchered that name terribly. In any case, this book is available through the Carnegie Mellon University Library. You can look at it online. And there are 2 editions of this book. The first edition uses Python 2, which is syntactically quite different from Python 3. So make sure that you're looking at the second edition of that book. Also, for coverage of things like pandas and NumPy, Python for Data Analysis, second edition, by Wes McKinney is really outstanding. And it is also available from the Carnegie Mellon University Library online. So you don't have to pay for any books. All right, so every week there are going to be homework assignments. Well, there's going to be a homework assignment each week. There will also be topic quizzes available for you to take at your convenience. And there will, at the end of the course, be one hands-on programming final exam. Now, as far as grades are concerned, the various grades are associated with GPA points, as shown as in this table. And I don't give A+s for homework or for topic quizzes. I fully expect that if you take the homeworks and the quizzes seriously and work hard on them, that you ought to be able to get an A on each homework assignment, and you ought to be able to get an A on each topic quiz. So in order to get an A+ in this course, you will have to get an A+ on the final exam. So you're going to have to be one of the top people in this hands-on programming final exam. And in addition to that, you will have had to get A's or very close to A's on all the other work that you did. Okay, so some people will get A pluses, but it's likely not to be a really huge number. I'll be posting lecture materials with corresponding videos each week. This week, during week 1, for example, we've looked at pandas, we've looked at regular expression notation, and we've looked at web scraping. In following weeks, we're going to take a look at various technical approaches to doing pricing of options. And I'm going to restrict myself to call and put options on stocks. You will see lots of other kinds of derivative securities in lots of other courses. I want to just introduce enough to you so that you can actually write code to solve these option pricing problems correctly. We're also going to spend a week talking about SQL, which many past students have told me it's worth knowing. And as time permits, we'll do some more examples of dynamic programming and or linked data structures. And as time permits, anything else that comes to mind. If you have an idea about something that you would like to see, by all means send me an email. I can't promise to cover every suggestion that anybody makes, but I will certainly take it into consideration. Okay, homework assignments, as in previous courses that I've done that you were all in prep, and some of you took, or many of you took the Python Programming Basics course as well. I ask people to work with a team of 2. You should write your code independently first as much as you can, and then compare what you did with what your teammate did. And for that matter, you can also compare what you did with other students' implementations as well. I don't want to just restrict you to just talking to one person. Then you and your teammate are going to have to select one version of code. You can either pick the first partners or the second partners, or create some blended version, and put that into a zip archive. Put your code into a zip archive and upload to Canvas. Please put your Andrew ID for each of the team members in a comment at the top of the file so that we can tell exactly who you are. We have many people with somewhat similar names, and many of you may have preferred names that I don't know about or that the TAs don't know about. So by all means include your name, but also definitely include your Andrew ID, because your Andrew ID is guaranteed to be unique through your entire education here at Carnegie Mellon. Now, to get an A on a homework assignment, you need to get 90 points out of a possible 100. Frankly, most people do well enough on the homework that that's not really an issue. But if you fail to get 90 points, here is the grades that you will get for fewer than 90 points. One way of losing points is to turn your homework in late, so please avoid turning homework in late. Quizzes will be like shorter versions and focused versions of the final exam that we had in programming prep. That is, it's going to be true-false, multiple choice, matching, multiple answer kinds of questions, and each quiz covers a specific topic rather than covering several weeks' worth of stuff. Now, unlike the programming prep final exam, where all you had to do was pass, and everybody did pass, here I'm going to expect you to show that you've mastered each of these topics. So in order to get an A on the quiz associated with each topic, You're going to have to get, I say each quiz specifies. Essentially, every quiz has 10 questions on it. So that means that you're going to have to get 9 right out of 10. These questions for each quiz that you take are generated randomly. So it's unlikely that you would see the same quiz 2 times for a certain topic. But you will be able to take each of the topic quizzes up to 4 times in order to try to achieve your A for that quiz. Topic quizzes are closed book, closed notes, no web access, no talking with friends, no phones, blah, blah, blah. You may have a piece of scratch paper and a pen or pencil. You probably won't, well, you might need those. Okay, I won't editorialize. So yes, you're going to be allowed to have scratch paper and pen or pencil, but you're not going to be able to use something like an iPad or a phone or something like that to look stuff up online during the quiz. You will have to take, or you will have to use, Lockdown Browser and Respondus Monitor for each quiz. Lockdown Browser will prevent you from accessing any other software on your machine while you're taking the quiz, and Respondus Monitor will, you're familiar with this, I think, from the programming prep exam and probably other exams. The Respondus Monitor will record your face to make sure that you are, looking at the computer and not looking off to the side of the room or whatever. All right. The final exam, as I said, is going to be hands-on programming, and it will be not quite 3 hours long. Pretty close to, but not quite. And the final exam will be open book, open web. You can use any materials that you want on the final exam. However, I do make the final exams long, and I will not typically put things on the final exam that you can just look up and copy and paste. So you really do need to know Python well and linked data structures well and various other things that we've talked about well in order to be able to form... Hey, it's late and my lips don't work. You need to know this stuff very solidly in order to be able to do well on the final exam. Okay. Well, the other material here, I think you can just read all right. Normally, we would do topic quizzes in the classroom, and we have very strict rules about proctoring in the classroom for quizzes and exams. Again, due to COVID-19, we're going to end up taking all of the topic quizzes remotely. You will need to be using, as I said, Lockdown Browser and Respondus Monitor for the quizzes. Just don't cheat. It's really not worthwhile. If we do detect that you are cheating, then you'll fail the course immediately. It's very likely that you'll be asked to leave the MSCF program, and having that on your record is going to be really, really bad for your future career. And as I've said before, when people interview you, if they detect that you really don't know what you're talking about, your particular grade in this particular course is not going to save you from people being able to tell that you just don't know the stuff. All right. Well, that's my last sort of finger-shaking lecture for you. I do want to say, we are living in stressful times. Please do take care of yourself. If you find yourself feeling anxious about COVID-19, feeling depressed, being distressed about your classes or whatever, please do contact Carnegie Mellon's counseling and psychological services, and they will be able to offer you or direct you to some counseling or advice that hopefully will help you out. All right, if you have any questions about anything, you're aware that you can email me, and I try to get back to people very quickly. I'm also very happy to set up Zoom meetings with you on an individual basis. I have met a great many of you during the summer by Zoom meetings. If I haven't had a chance to meet you yet, and you would like to have a chat, by all means send me an email and we can set up a Zoom meeting to say hello to one another. Alrighty, take care.